Okay, so here's another video where we're going to talk about where you get these references from for weapons and from the base game, from your own mod, from other mods that you have installed, and so on. So to get started, I'm in the Squad SDK, which you can get from the Epic Games launcher. You don't need the SDK to do this. I'll show a few different methods, but for now, this is where I'll be showing it. So to get started, if you have the content browser open, you can go into blueprints and items, and here you'll see mostly equipable items. So there'll be like binoculars here, grenades, machine guns, pistols, rifles, shotgun. Well, shotguns are, you'll see these, anything with this exclamation warning symbol is not cooked in the base game. So these are actually all the shotguns available in KOTH already because I've copied these to my mod folder, which is what it instructs you to do. So if you want to use anything with this symbol, you need to create a mod via the modding hub, new mod, create a mod, and copy it to your mod folder first and reference it from there. But otherwise, you're free to pretty much grab anything from the base game here that you find interesting that doesn't have that symbol. So in here, there's a load of things, right? So pick anything you please. It's all probably going to work with KOTH, just with the way that it loads. So I'm trying to find something that isn't already in KOTH. Probably the machine guns would be a good place to go. So cool. That's not in for sure. PMT76. So we'll copy reference for that, and in your config, I have this something crazy example that I was making to test. So all we have to do is after copy reference there, right-click copy reference on your the actor you want. You can just paste it into, just copy paste one of these down and, like a whole chunk and set it up. And the only thing you need to do with blueprints, unfortunately, for whatever reason, you have to add _C to the end to denote a class reference. And I do want to make note that you don't actually need this blueprint wrapper. In fact, you'll see most of the KOTH examples don't have it. Like here's one I was testing with and without, and you can see it works both with and without just fine. You just need to have the _C. Whoops, I added an S by mistake. You need to have that _C there to make it work. So yeah, that's the only thing to note. Yeah, we don't actually need that section. So we'll add the variant here. Hold on, we'll get that loading and comma, copy paste. And we'll get this variant, weapon variant added as well. And we'll do this one without this blueprint wrapper just to show that they both work. And we'll go _C. And what about the texture, right? We need to add some texture in here, and obviously update the name really quick. PMT76. So how do we get the texture? We just go ahead and open up this blueprint if you're using the SDK. And you can go and scroll down until you find the HUD selected texture. You can also just search this like selected texture and right click copy, or you can even just hit the magnifying glass icon to jump to all the icons and just copy them from here. If you're looking for this path, it's content, UI, HUD, inventory, weapons, machine guns, and there we have the mag 58, so we can grab that. Paste that into texture, and again, this wrapper is optional. You can leave it or you can remove it. It's generally faster to just leave it, but I tend to remove it. Doesn't matter though. And then, so the title and description are what are shown here. So if we see the display name and item description, that's what will be shown in the store outside of the main description here, which is like currently just a description about an PMT machine gun. There you go. And then if we, obviously I can test this in the, because I have the mod here, but you would want to load this onto your server, this config onto your server, and try it out. Of course I have to hear my own voice every single time I test this. I'm as sick of it as you are, so. But yeah, there it is. There's our item and our two weapon variants, so we'll buy them both. There's one. And actually, meanwhile, we will make this a prestige um, afterwards, after we buy it. So I'll perma that. There's the variant. And then now if we go back into the store, because I reopened the store, it will refresh. Anytime that you close the store and reopen it, it reloads the store config basically. So you can just save in between and reopen it. But there it is. There's with our prestige, weapon level 0, prestige 1, and we can change whatever we want. Cool. So that covers the, getting stuff from the editor in the base game, from the SDK. If you have a mod, like here's the contractors crate. So this is your own mod. You just go to your modded item, right click, copy reference the same way. And like here, we'll copy this family down, unlock level 54. Just keep crawling it up a little bit. And we'll just call this like test example. And here's my MPX, right? So copy reference. And we'll go back into, sorry, where was I here? Paste that in here and go _C, right? Because we need that _C. And then there's my texture. And if you're adding content for KOTH, please like add like your logo to the bottom right of your, like make a family card. Make like a card for all your weapons, but then just copy and paste one with your logo in the bottom corner, and we'll use that as a family card. Because that way, like, you can represent like your logo or your content a little bit and promote it in the store so people can see it stand out. Like, you'll see like that icon is in the bottom right. So please feel free to make use of that because I think that that's like a nice way to organize it as well as like make players understand where the mods came from. So yeah. Okay, so we'll reopen the store and what do we call that? Test example. So there's our test example and we can see that's the store card that I'm talking about with the logo at the bottom right. So you can see it's like from Steel Division. And then there's our gun. Obviously it has the prestige because we left the prestige on this here, right? So cool. And then how do we get this as a player with this mod installed, right? Like how do we get that? So we're gonna start by, I gotta reopen, sorry, Gildor's homepage. So this, if you look up UModel on Google, go to Gildor's homepage UE viewer, open that up. And then just download this. It looks a little dicey, but it is what it is. And open this up, and we'll go to Path to Game Files. And what we're going to do is go to your game library. So this will be your game folder, like your Steam game folder, Steam apps. And instead of going to like Common, where your games usually are, you're going to go Steam Apps, Workshop, Content, and then the number for squad is 393380. That's squad's like ID number. You open up that one, and then here's all the mods installed on your PC from squad. So I know that contractor crate is 3936, or sorry, 936, ending in 936, but you can just go to whatever mod you want and see at the top ID here, right? So like here's the King of the Hill collection. So you can see like contractor crate, 936, KOTH layers, 791 and so on, right? So you can see like just opening up any mod, you can see the ending number there, it will correspond. And then open up, it'll say the mod name, open that, and then go just select the content folder and select and go OK. Then go plugins, mods, the mod name, and then content, and then that will resemble this content folder here. So we'll see now SD here, right? We should see SD. So there it is, SD, weapons, and then there's all the weapons. SD, weapons, and there's all the weapons. Awesome. So then in here we'll go like, let's just use like the same MPX that we were just using there. So we'll go MPX, there's a mat folder there, which is probably just materials, right? We see texture, materials here, so we don't want any of that. And then here again, textures, we don't want any of that if we're looking for the asset itself. Suppressor, right? So like here we'll just compare what we're seeing versus what we're seeing here. Like, because again, we're fumbling in the dark because we don't necessarily see what the mod creators see. So it's like, what the hell is a gun in here? Well, it's not an attachment, right, for a suppressor. It's not a static info because it's never a static info. That's a model, right? We can tell because it's, so like a larger file. And we can always double click and open these to see. This is a physics asset. That's not it, right? This is a model. This is a muzzle flash effect. And then here's another, again, a static info, right? We can see because it says info here. We don't want that. This is actually it, right? So we can see, unfortunately, again, even myself, we won't make it easy for you. Modders won't make it easy for you. This one's called new underscore BP underscore, right? So you gotta you gotta just kind of know. You gotta just process of elimination. But again, yeah, so here's like just a projectile, so that's not it. And then here is actually our family card, so TMPX family, and then here's just the regular weapon card. So we have both a regular weapon card and a family card here. So you could pick either one of those. Most mods obviously won't have a family card, they'll just have UI. But maybe theirs will be in a UI folder somewhere else in the directory, and you may just have to like dig a little bit, right? Like and find it. But yeah, so here we would just go right click, copy package path, and we'll just go in here again and go ahead and paste it in here. But suddenly it looks different, right? Like before we had blueprint wrapper and all that, and now we have like just this really long path, and then the mod name, and then content, and then there's also UAsset at the end. So we need to fix that. So everything before the mod name, just get rid of it. So you have slash the mod name, and then get rid of content. So there's no content there. You just have slash the mod name, and then that is the content folder. If you see here, if we look at the path now that we just edited, it is now slash, it's our content folder, SD, weapons, MPX, and so on from there, right? MPX, and then that's our item. And then we need to go underscore instead of UAsset, we need to make sure that we have this name twice. So we need to copy this whole, just double click, copy this whole thing, dot that. And then remember, we also need underscore C and then save. And so you can see in this one, we don't have that blueprint wrapper, but remember that was optional. And that's why I say like, usually I don't use it because I want to keep consistent with, this seems to be like the most approachable, like bare way of using it. So I would just use it without it, but if you use it with it, there's no harm either. So like we could add this blueprint wrapper to it and it would still work the very same way. So cool. Yep, that's that. If we want to look at something like textures in this, same deal, just, copy package path. Where were we here? Texture, clear that out. Again, this suddenly doesn't have the wrapper anymore, right? But we just remove everything before except the slash and content. So we just have slash, the mod, then everything from there. And then, oh, we have UAssets. We need to double click this and put that. So dot tmpx family dot tmpx family. Perfect. And then again, in this we don't need the underscore C. It's only for items because items denote class references. Textures you never need it for. For models, like if you have like a skeletal mesh for a skin, like if we go down to the skins, like you'll see like these take skeletal mesh references. These take, yeah, here's skeletal meshes, here's textures, right? They all don't need that underscore C, just those item references. And the places you'll see those are on vehicles, right? We go to vehicle, vehicles maybe I need to write in here. There we go. So yeah, all these need the underscore C, right? Because they're items, right? So vehicles need them, items need them, and so on. So yeah, anything that's a texture or otherwise though doesn't need it. And bonus, if you're looking for the vehicles here in the base game content, that is in the content vehicles, and they're all here. So you can just dive into whatever you want here and reference those. Just copy the base vehicle or the base variant vehicle that you want. Like there's a desert one, right click, copy reference, and you're good to go. And yeah, you can just, copy from one of these, the examples, and so on. Yep, and same with the skin references again, like those assets will just be in your art folder. Like if we go to content, it's going to be art, soldier 2, and then pick a faction, and they're all in here. You can just right click copy, The uppers are obviously the upper body, the 1P mesh is the lower, and then the 3P is like the whole thing complete together. So you need all three. If you're customizing these materials though, these are an array. So these are overrides. If they're empty, they'll just be whatever's there by default. But if you want to override material slot 3, you need to add back the same, 0, 1, 2, and then your 3 slot override that you want in there, and it will override it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about in this video. Hopefully this was informative, and yeah, we'll be covering more in the next one. Cheers.